I've never done this before, but I did this. I'm making this for myself. I was just working today, Christmas Eve. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And a customer comes and gets me and tells me that there is a young man who is stealing stuff. And he has his pockets bulging and tells me what he looks like. And I go out and I see him, of course, and he's got stuff bulging out of his pant pockets and his sweatshirt. And I approached him and said, do you need help with anything? Are you doing okay? And he said, yeah. And he just looked distraught. And he started for the door. And I said, sir, please don't leave. And he walked out the door. So I followed him to the sidewalk. And I thought, okay, you're not supposed to follow him any farther than that. So I stopped, and then I went around the corner, and he was standing in his next to in his truck. So I went to take a picture of his license plate, and he said he stood in front. He come back and stood in front of it, and he said, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And I said, well, I said, I will call the police if you don't give me my merchandise back. I said, I don't care about what's going on. I said, just give me my merchandise back. And he said, will you please not call the police? And I said, if you bring it in and you let me have the merchandise, then we'll call it even. And he said, okay. He said, but can we do it someplace where people don't stare at me? And I said, sure, we'll go over in the corner. So it went over there, and I got 2 baskets, and he started pulling out merchandise. And he pulled out toys and candy and Christmas items and bows and tape and a couple little decorations. And I said, is this stuff for your kids for Christmas? And he teared up and he said, yeah, I don't have any money to get them anything. And I said, how many kids do you have? And he said, 3. And he said, well, I have 2, but I'm also taking care of my nephew. I said, okay. So he kept pulling things out, and I had 2 carry baskets full. And I said, okay, follow me. And he just kind of looked at me funny, but he followed me up, and I went up to the checkouts, and I had Sue at the checkouts ring everything up for him. And I said, I'm going to get this stuff for you because I don't want you to go to jail on Christmas Eve. I don't want your kids to be devastated that you're not there for Christmas, and I don't want you to go to another store and get yourself in trouble. I just don't want that to happen. And I was fine. I didn't cry or anything. I was so calm. And then he went over and sat down by the window, and he started to cry. So we rang him up, and it was about $75 worth. And then a lady behind him, I don't think she knew really what was going on, but she said, do you need some other things? And he said, no. And he was crying. He said, no, I'm fine. And she took him into the store. She said, let's go buy some, let's go look. Let's go buy some other things. I don't know how much she ended up buying for him, but she went through and she got him some things. And when that young man left, his arms were full of packages and wrapping paper. And he came over, and I didn't want to be there when he left because I didn't want to make a big scene about it, make him feel bad. But he came over to the office, and he knocked on the door, and he was crying, and he said, thank you so much for doing this for me. He said, I can't believe this has happened. And his name is Sean. And I said, Sean, please. I said, please don't do anything on Christmas Eve to go to jail. I said, just go home and wrap your gifts. And I had a $25 gift card in my purse for a friend for Walmart. And I said one more thing. I said, I gave him a gift card, and I said, go to Walmart and get you something for Christmas dinner. I said, I don't know what your situation is, but surely you can pick up something. And he cried, and he left. He said, I just can't believe this is happening. And he left. And if my assistant had not been late, I would have missed this completely. I would have missed this opportunity. And I don't want anyone to ever tell me there's not a God. There is a God, and He works in the most amazing way. And He's touched me today out of the blue. And I'm not even a real religious person, but you can feel it in your heart. That's all there is to it. You feel it in your heart. Merry Christmas.